Hi, I'm Lena Elkousy. I am a nutritional chef, a health coach, and a yoga teacher. And I'm also one of the co-founders of Present Plate. We're a community organization dedicated to reconnecting people to their food. So because today's topic is resiliency, I wanted to talk about resiliency in our own individual health and how to live a preventative lifestyle. We can access more energy, clarity, and joy by way of personal choices. One of the biggest zappers of our vitality is inflammation. So you've probably heard the word inflammation buzzing around in the wellness world for the past few years. Inflammation is a function of the immune system, which is the body's natural response to injury or infection. So it's a really important part of our healing system, but it can go into overdrive, and that's what we call chronic inflammation. So chronic inflammation is the condition in which the inflammatory response is overactive and the immune system that normally protects us starts to attack and destroy healthy tissues, arteries, organs, and joints. Medical studies have shown that chronic inflammation can be directly linked to a few causes, specifically here, diet and lifestyle. Symptoms can show up as chronic pain, brain fog, poor digestion, headaches, recurring infections, fatigue and poor sleep, and mood disorders like anxiety and depression. And then over time, chronic inflammation can lead to a host of common deadly ailments, including heart disease, diabetes, obesity, Alzheimer's, and cancer, as well as various autoimmune diseases like eczema and MS, arthritis, asthma, and IBD, just to name a few. These diseases can damage tissue permanently over time and impair the body's ability to heal itself, thus causing deterioration of health and overall quality of life. Another main cause of inflammation is stress, when the adrenals are pumping out cortisol and adrenaline. While these magical hormones are like superpowers in emergency situations, they're corrosive to the system when they're constantly present. When we live in chaotic cities, toxic relationships, and toxic work environments, we experience long periods of chronic stress. And let's face it, we often create our own stress by obsessing and worrying about the future or the past, or creating unnecessary drama, or just general negative thinking. Okay, so that's a lot. So there's no snake oil cure-all elixir. We're complex beings, and it's taken a lifetime of learning and practicing in the default way to get us to where we are today. Unfortunately, the default way in most cultures in the world today is quick fixes, easy, cheap, fast foods, preserved with chemicals and packed in single-use plastic. Click a button for anything on demand, shiny packaged cleanses that'll fix any problem you have. And all of this with a pharmaceutical cherry pill on top to mask the symptoms and create more problems. So what can we do? We can take responsibility for an initiative for our own health and well-being, and we can learn how to live a preventative lifestyle. So these are things that we already know we should do, but maybe in this context of reducing inflammation, it will hit a new note with you. So because we're a culmination of all of the habits that we practice on a daily basis, we have to start with creating new habits. And this takes time and it takes consistency. And it's important to be gentle with yourself, but also disciplined. So finding that balance is really important as you try to shift your lifestyle into a different one than you're in. Stay curious during the whole process. Always ask questions, research, read, review, talk to people. And every moment is a chance to make an infinite new choices. So you're constantly starting over and practicing again and again. So we'll start here. So inform yourself. So that's number one. Read labels. This is one of the most important things that I share with people. Everything is in the label, all the chemicals, all the nutrition information, everything. So read the labels, get familiar with what toxic foods are, what preservatives look like. These are all things that can be really detrimental to your health. Read articles, be curious, memorize the top inflammatory foods. So wheat, dairy, soy, alcohol, corn, sugar, shellfish, peanuts, trans fats, refined cooking oils, red meat and pork, cigarettes, pesticides, and artificial ingredients are just a few of them, but those are some of the top ones. And you get to know your body. As you try new things, you just learn how to listen to what your body is telling you. So you're getting feedback as you start to experiment with the new information that you're gaining. Getting to know the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15 is a great way to learn about organic foods. I'm not going to get into it here, but it's a list of foods that are okay to eat inorganic and a little bit safer. And then there's the Dirty Dozen is the ones that you should never eat inorganic. Reread things, review things, take notes. I have tons of notebooks with loads of information of things that I've learned over the years. This is life school. So, study. Okay, you knew this was coming. I'm a chef. Cook your own food, right? So as a rule of thumb, packaged foods, restaurant foods, and pre-made foods contain low-quality ingredients that are inorganic and inflammatory, unless otherwise specified. So unless a restaurant says, this is where we got our meat from and we use organic vegetables and we don't use refined oils, they most likely are. And if they're not, I want to eat there. So ideally, as we all know by now, we want to be eating a plant-forward diet, a lot of leafy greens, a whole rainbow of vegetables for fiber and phytonutrients. So get a CSA box, like a local farm box. Go to your local farmer's market, talk to your farmers, talk to chefs, talk to people that are there, and learn to cook the majority of your food and really be self-sufficient so that you know what you're putting in your body. And get into a rhythm with it. So like soak the beans and the grains for the next day, and figure out how to incorporate leftovers from one meal into the next meal. And, be adventurous and be creative and be playful. Try new ingredients and Google recipes. You can Google almost any recipe and go through loads of them and find something that seems simple and approachable and go for it. Really, cooking is so fun. I'm a little biased, but, and then, you can also make cooking a meditative practice, and, chopping and really being present with it. And another practice that can be meditative is washing dishes, and washing dishes is a reality of cooking your own food. So learning how to make it a task that isn't something that you dread doing every day that causes stress is medicine, really. And it can also be a great time to collaborate with other people in your house on a creative cooking project, or maybe you do the dishes together, you put the music on and you clean the kitchen and you dance and make it a celebration of community and of food. And then while you're cooking your own food, make it nutrient dense. So make your food work harder for you. Just tons of herbs and spices is really one of the most potent ways that you can make your food medicinal. So add in things like loads of turmeric and black pepper and cinnamon and cumin and garlic and ginger and fresh herbs like basil, parsley, cilantro, rosemary, and sage. They all add a myriad of health benefits, and the majority of them possess anti-inflammatory properties and other medicinal benefits. So they also add delicious depth and flavor to anything you're making. So that's pretty cool. And there's so many different ones, and it's really fun to experiment. And I always say go heavy with your herbs and spices, like give it bold flavors. I think that's one of the things that make chefs' food stand out from the home cooks. So be adventurous, be bold, get crazy. And then another thing you can do is consider adding some basic supplements into your diet. So this will just help your overall organ function. And our food, unfortunately, is often depleted of nutrients because of the soil degradation. So a lot of the foods we are eating don't have the nutrients that we think that they have in them. So making sure that you're getting adequate vitamins and getting all the essential minerals for function, and omega-3 fatty acids are really great for brain function, and as well as strong anti-inflammatories. Probiotics are also great because it supports the gut, and the gut manufactures a lot of our happy hormones like serotonin and regulates a lot of other functions in our body. And then when you're getting supplements, just make sure that you're always getting good quality, and do your brand research. Like, be rigorous about your research and read about it, and understand what you're putting in your body. Cut out refined sugar. So this can be a hard one, as sugar is extremely addictive, but it's truly one of the worst offenders when it comes to chronic inflammation. And so to help curb your craving, you can incorporate naturally sweet foods into your diet. So in the summertime, do local seasonal summer fruits, and in this wintertime, you can do sweet root veg like sweet potatoes and beets and carrots and cooked onions and things like that. And what this will do is it'll kind of satisfy your sweet craving so that you don't have like such a strong craving for it. And you can be creative with these. So you don't just have to have like berries on their own. You can put them in a salad. You could puree raspberries or strawberries into a vinaigrette for a salad or for cooked vegetables. You could make some sort of a sauce. You can make muffins from sweet potatoes. I'll steam them and use them as like the wet base for a sweet potato, like a gluten-free sweet potato muffin. And they're so sweet, they taste like dessert, and I eat them for breakfast. So there are ways around the sugar cravings without depriving yourself. And then speaking of deprivation, don't actually deprive yourself. So I'm really big on this because when we go to extreme measures, we can often, it's like a slingshot effect. We can sling back the other way, or ricochet. I don't know what the metaphor is. So don't deprive yourself. So have the occasional cookie, have the occasional margarita if you want it, or even the occasional cigarette. Like do what makes you happy, but do it in moderation and don't indulge on a daily basis, because life is short, and it can be shorter or it can be longer depending on how we treat these precious vessels that we're here in. And as you acclimate to a healthier way of life, you may develop natural aversions to old habits anyways. So there's that. And then get more sleep, reduce stress, and get more rest. So meditate, do breath work, do yoga, dance, sweat, exercise, shake. This all reduces the body's stress levels and lowers the inflammatory response. So getting adequate sleep is one of the most important things that you can do for inflammation, and a host of other things. And then last but not least, connect. So you don't have to go it alone. Talk to your family and your household mates and ask for support. Perhaps inspire others to give it a go as well. Encourage children to develop a good relationship with healthy food from an early age, and mindful practices as well. Get them in the garden, get them in the kitchen, and teach them about real food. If you feel overwhelmed with the amount of information and want some guidance and accountability, maybe you seek the counsel of a health coach or a functional medicine doctor. If you're having serious health problems, obviously, please go see a doctor. But even before you go see a doctor, if you don't have serious ailments or concerns, you can take these steps on your own, and it'll kind of help to clear the pathway if you ever do need to go to the doctor, so that they can see exactly what's going on without all these other symptoms masking it. And keeping a food journal can also help a doctor. It helps you get to know yourself better, and it can help a doctor diagnose more serious issues down the line. And when you're searching for a doctor, do diligent research, and don't settle for a physician who is not open to more holistic approaches. Ask questions, work with them. This is your life and your body. Take responsibility. So in conclusion, how to live a more anti-inflammatory lifestyle. Cook your own nutrient-dense food and add some quality supplements, and listen to your body's feedback. Educate yourself and always read labels. Stay curious. Cut out sugar and other toxic foods. Reduce stress and get adequate rest. And connect. So seek guidance from professionals and support from friends and family. I hope this has been helpful for you. Thank you so much for listening.